JA-KL-1532 Jackal. Overview. Vining Engineering and Salvage Team, aka VEST, of Solaris 7, designed the Jackal in conjunction with the Earthwerks battlemechs of Keystone and the Free Worlds League, bringing to life one of the first built-from-the-ground-up mechs ever conceived by what is now one of Solaris 7's most sought-after design firms. Based on first-hand research of clan engagements by VEST techs, the Jackal was meant for the battlefield, not the arena, and can compete with the speed and weaponry used by the clans. Capabilities. The Jackal uses a lightweight engine and an endo-steel frame to maximize its mobility and still leave room for heavier weapons. An Abadovi Mark 30 extended-range particle cannon gives it reach comparable to most clan weaponry, with respectable hitting power for a light mech. Backing up the particle cannon is an ammunition-efficient Holly Streak SRM and an anti-missile system to deflect incoming fire. This mix of speed, firepower, and point defense enable the Jackal to act as a highly mobile, long-distance sniper while minimizing potential damage from return fire. Deployment. In an effort to sell the new design to any interested buyer, VEST debuted its prototype Jackal in the arenas of Solaris 7, where the mech's stellar performance quickly attracted the attention of several competing battlemech factories. Earthwerks, by far the most prominent, eventually struck a deal with VEST for rights to produce the mech out of the Earthwerks plant on Keystone. Earthwerks has since supplied the Jackal to various interested buyers, the majority of which included the Capellan and Free Worlds armed forces, plus dozens of mercenary commands throughout the Inner Sphere. The deal struck with Earthwerks also allowed VEST to produce a limited number of Jackals for its own sale, so long as purchases were limited exclusively to state or mercenary buyers rather than competing corporations for reverse engineering. As a result, VEST has maintained a modest trade in its flagship battlemech design, largely with the various stables on Solaris 7. Variants. A recent variant unveiled by VEST's Solaris operation drops the Burrow anti-missile system and ammunition bin in favour of a targeting computer housed in the right torso. This variant also upgrades the Jackal's heat sinks to double strength and slightly increases the armour on the mech's arms and leg. Notable mech warriors. Sir Colin van Densche. Sir Colin van Densche served in the 3rd Battalion of the 1st Knights of the Inner Sphere during the Inner Sphere invasion of Huntress in 3060. During the fighting for control of the new Andere training base, Sir Van Densche and his lancemates encountered a mixed group of Jaguar mechs and proto-mechs. During the ensuing firefight, Van Densche and his Jackal squared off against several of what one lancemate dubbed super elementals, while the Jaguar mechs continued to close in. Thanks to his Jackal's maneuverability and the powerful mix of PPC and SRMs, Van Densche tied up the proto-mechs for close to a minute, killing 2 Centaurs, 1 Rock, and a Hydra, before heavy damage inflicted by the Protos enabled an arriving Hellhound to savage his engine. Though able to retreat to base, Van Densche sustained grievous injuries during the fight, requiring years of therapy. He's only recently returned to semi-active duty. Shannon Scarlet Shrike. Shannon Shrike was already a veteran mech warrior when she received an offer from VEST to test pilot its new battle mech in the Solaris arenas. Specifically instructed to be flashy yet effective, Shrike battled her way to a series of victories at the helm of Bloody Anubis, the prototype Jackal VEST provided for her demonstration. Shrike's triumphs were more than spectacular enough to win her VEST backers their first production deal with Earthwerks Incorporated. In fact, impressed by this freelance mech warrior style, Tanya and Elizabeth O'Bannon personally approached Shrike with a generous offer to join their Gemini stables as soon as her contract with VEST has expired. Right, I'm sorry everybody, but no. Now, you remember earlier in a previous LoreWarrior, because depending on, obviously, your memory for these things, but in a previous one, I mentioned that about 60 to 70% of people's decision about whether they like a battle mech or are going to play using this battle mech is looks. Well, this is a perfect fucking example, because the Jackal looks fucking ridiculous. It does. Like, it looks a bit like a droid from Star Wars with legs from a weird anime. It's got this drum body, this big gun on its shoulder, its weird gangly arms. I mean, no amount of work by Matt Plog is going to improve the original artwork of this thing much. It's terrible looking. I mean, the Urban Mech looks more sleekly designed and more plausible than this thing. For a start, it's so big and fat, it looks like it would fall over. The the counterbalancing on this thing is ridiculous looking. The big PPC on the shoulder is a nice touch, but the head is awful. The big round belly, the spindly little legs, the pointless looking arms. I don't get it personally. I think the Streak 2's on the left arm. Yeah, the artwork has that. Yeah, so it's just an odd looking machine. I just don't. No one's going to pick it up. It's a 30-tonner. It can run 11, jump 0, walk 7. It's got 11 heat sinks. It's just not doubles even. So basically, it's got enough. It can walk and fire its PPC, or the way man. No, it's the ER. So it overheats every time it fires, unless those are doubles. But I don't think it said it had double heatsink, so I actually think this mech is very bad at its job. Yeah, what was it? It said lightweight engine and endo steel. And it's... Yeah, this thing would overheat every time it fires. It's only got 11 heatsinks. Unless it's not counting internal from the engine, which means it would have 21, but... It does just say heatsinks 11, so yeah, I mean, basically an ERPPC generates 15 heat rather than 10. So it can only sink 11 of that 15 heat, and that's if it doesn't move. And then it's a mech that's apparently always quick or at range. So it's firing and then having to spend a turn moving to bleed the heat again, and then it's firing it. That's terrible. I don't know, this must be a misprint, right? Because you would at least make sure the design has enough heat sinks to handle just firing the primary weapon without going over. This thing is bad. I mean, even the Panther can handle firing its main weapon without going over heat. What is this? I don't recommend the Jackal. I know it's dozy looking. Apparently it cooks the pilot to death. I assume the big middle thing is some kind of slow cooker. That's all I can think now. You put a fuckload of rice inside that thing, and then you just walk around and fire the PPC, and it cooks the rice. The little bit, the round bit at the front just opens up near some, like, you know, starving community out in the distance, and just rice just pours out of it, steaming hot and ready to go, and people cheer and enjoy it, and it just wanders off to a supply depot to grab more rice. That's all I can assume it does. It's fucking terrible. It's very bad. I honestly couldn't recommend it. It's terrible. It's such a bad design. Oh, I am gonna have to look this up somewhere else just to see if it's supposed to have double heat sinks. You know what? Live on the audio recording, Sana. I go double check whether Sana's got this thing set properly. Let's see, Jackal. Yeah, there's the horrible artwork. There's the yeah, blah blah blah. Equipment. Heat sinks. No, it has 11. It does have 11, and they're not doubles. Oh my god, this thing is a death trap. Oh, no, stay away from the Jackal. It's bad.